Hey everyone, this is Mike from Real Life Counseling, and today we're going to give a little quote from your friend and mine, Mr. Rogers. And Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers, said the greatest gift you ever give is your honest self. Um, I think people these days, there's so much going on in the world where people are deceptive and deceitful and lying, and you hear all sorts of things like fake news. I mean, I don't want to get political here, but people really appreciate authenticity. They want to feel like someone's being real with them, that you're being real, that they're being real, that there's this genuineness, this connection between two human beings who are kind of seeing each other as human beings. And I think Mr. Rogers is right that you're giving who you are. Your honest, authentic self really is the greatest gift you can give to the world. You're being yourself genuinely and authentically. So often we wear masks. I talked about in a previous video with on Batman, where we talked about who he is underneath, and it doesn't matter who we are underneath. It's how we act. We define ourselves by our behavior. Again, I think it's similar to what Mr. Rogers is saying in the sense that we wear so many masks, right? We put on a happy face when we need to, and we go to work and we try not to bring stuff from home to work. We try not to bring stuff from work back home. How many times do we go out? Maybe we're invited to a social gathering and we don't really feel like going, but we put on that big smile. Okay, happy to be here. And we're not authentic. We're not real. We're not genuine. I think that we have to keep this real. This is real life counseling. And there are times when, you don't want to be a downer if you're invited to someone's home and you're not feeling well. I mean, if you're not feeling well physically, then you want to stay home. You don't want to get sick. But, sometimes, yes, you do have to kind of fake it a little bit because you don't want to bring people down. You were invited. But you don't have to go overboard either, And I think a lot of times people will notice. They'll say, is everything okay? You don't seem like yourself. I think it's okay to say, you know what, listen, I had a bad day today. And maybe you can say, and listen, I'm sorry, I'm not at my best, but I'm glad, thank you for inviting me and thinking about me, because that's certainly genuine and authentic. You may not have wanted to go, but the fact that you were invited, everyone wants to be thought of and included. So being genuine, when people are in trouble and they're confused, they want people who they know are going to give them the real deal, that are going to be genuine and authentic. Now, we don't all have the right answer, so just because someone's being genuine and authentic doesn't mean the advice is necessarily the best advice. But we're asking people for a reason. We want their real, genuine, honest perspective. And if they don't give us that, well, then what's the point? Right? If they tell us what we want to hear, then they're not. Well, we can do that. We can tell ourselves what we want to hear, right? That's what we do. We're asking somebody else because we want to hear another perspective. Now, again, right? A lot of times we want advice and then we don't take it, right? We do what we always wanted to do in the first place, right? Because that's just human nature. But sometimes we do want to hear another person's view, and that doesn't mean we'll take it. But if we respect the person and we think they're being really honest with us and genuine, we'll at least think about it. And sometimes it does influence us. Maybe most of the time it doesn't. We want to hear people's advice, but we really wind up taking our own in the end anyway. But sometimes we don't, and sometimes even the advice that we take, even our own advice, maybe moderated a little bit by what somebody else that we respect says, if we feel they're being authentic. In business, there's a lot of yes men. And again, I understand that because sometimes if you are honest, you're fired. I mean, I hate to be that brutal and direct, but sometimes people say, I want real honesty. I want to hear everybody's opinion. And they don't. That's not what they want. And so being good at that, being good to pick up whether or not someone really wants you to be your true, honest self is really a skill. And you also don't want to put yourself into a situation where you could be harmed. So you have to be somewhat realistic. But I think being honest about who you are, that really is your gift. You are you. You are unique. No one else is like you. And so we want you. We want the real you. I want the real me. That doesn't mean we can't improve. That doesn't mean we can't be better. There are, sometimes our honest self isn't always so great. I mean, there are times when people are almost too honest, and they're kind of they're so direct that it's almost abrasive, and it can hurt sometimes. So it's not that we're perfect. It's just that there's no one that can be us better than us. And yes, we want to try to be the best we that we can be, but that's what people want. They want us. They don't want somebody else. What's the point? Then they would be friends with somebody else, right? They want us, but they want the real us. They want the genuine us. They want to know that if they come to us, we're going to give them an honest appraisal. I heard a story once where there was this girl who wanted to join a cheerleading team, and she knew. She knew that she was overweight, and even though that shouldn't matter, she knew from experience, and this was many, many years ago. Fortunately, things are a little bit more changed now, and we're more inclusive. But this was a time when it was really hard if you were overweight to be a cheerleader. And her mom says, "Oh, no, you can be anything that you want, sweetheart. I love you, and no, don't let that, And at the time, at least, the girl said, "Mom, that's not true. That's not true. I know you're my mom. You love me. You want to protect me. You don't want to say that because of my weight I can't do it." But I can. Now, she could, but in that context, at that time, this was many years ago, she knew her school, and she was right. And what she wanted from her mom was honesty. And the mom, because she loved her, she wanted, "No, you can do anything in the world." Well, we can all do everything in the world. Fortunately, we can do more. Fortunately, prejudices and hatred and cruelty are no longer tolerated the way they were. And we can do a lot more. We're given opportunities to do things that we could have done years ago. We just weren't given the chance because of prejudices and hatred. But there are some things that we genuinely can't do. We can't do everything. And if people tell us, "Oh, no, you can do anything you want," we want honesty. We want to know. We want someone to give us the real deal. And that's what we value in people, in being honest. So be honest. Be like Fred Rogers. Be like Mr. Rogers. Your gift to the world is your true self, your authentic, honest self. If you like this video, hit like. If you want to be a subscriber, hit subscribe. And if you want notifications on when new videos come out, please hit that bell icon, and I'll see you next time.